Man, oh man, am I happy. I should have a different shirt on, but it's in the wash right now. Oh, I see you, Marn. Um, First and foremost, before we start, just a reminder to everybody that we do have a Discord. So that's where all the announcement is. That's where we get all the podcast questions and stuff like that. So if you haven't joined the Discord, we'll put it in the description. I'll also put it in chat in a couple of minutes. So definitely we want people to join the Discord because that's the best way to kind of communicate off of YouTube. But now we can start with our first topic, and boy, oh boy, do I have a lot to talk about. Shopify upsets Cloud9 again. Or actually, not again, but Cloud9 choke again. The games were very exciting, except for game one. I'm gonna say game four was exciting too. For if you're a Cloud9 fan, and if you're a Shopify fan, you're like, okay, are we gonna come back? Is it over? But just to kind of run through the series, game one, we get stomped. We do nothing proactive, and we get stomped. Happens. Like we didn't play like we did. Seiyus after the game said like we didn't play the way like we were playing a little bit nervous. Game two, we're down over 5,000 gold, and then you guys pull a Shopify. Our Otacon setups against Dignitas, against 100 Thieves, like literally every single game we lose, we throw at Otacon. We are so bad around this objective. And then Cloud9, for some reason, decide to tap into our spirit and just absolutely butcher the Otacon, give us free kills and the Otacon. Like, I think we got 2 kills and the Otacon. We went from like 5.4k down to like 2k. It was like a crazy gold swing. The game was pretty much back in our favor, and we were able to win out with our comp. A big point of controversy or topic was Palafox. Palafox game 1 got gapped. Game 2, the beginning, he was just getting like focused, flashed on by Nautilus, by Jarvan. He was like struggling, and then he just like was better than Loki for the rest of the series, which is not something I thought I would say. The big takeaways for me, not to brag a lot about Shopify, is that we fought a lot. That's something that Busio was even mentioning in pros. He was like, dude, I was seeing like freaking contracts on Vi flat, like queuing, flash, ulting just to get in range to start fights. And that's pretty much what we did. We took 3v4s and won them. We took like very weird angles that you wouldn't expect that aren't around team fighting because Cloud9 just have better objective setups. Like it was objectively a fact that we have worse setups. And so we just fought in between. And it looked like Cloud9 was not prepared. Like they took one punch on the chin and they did not get back up. This team, I know everyone's been saying they're fragile. Like I've been saying, this team is soft, man. They get hit once and they don't know what to do. The only series that they won was like the one against Lion, and they more like it was more because the close series that they won was against Lion was because Vulcan had to go for a funeral and like that whole shenanigans happened. But besides that, every time they've been challenged, they crumbled, which is really weird to see when you have Sven and Vulcan. Sven, I gotta talk about Sven. The two people on Cloud9. Okay, everybody's focused on Blabber when I think no one's talking about Sven getting solo killed multiple times. Like, what is going on with this guy? He was the best player in finals of last split. And now he's just like getting gapped by Seiyus Bivoy, who 2 years ago were both playing in CBLOL. That is not what you expect out of like pretty much unanimously a top, 2, if not top 3 AD carry in this region. And probably in the West, like he's one of the top of all times. I don't know what happened to Sven that game, but that's the entire series, honestly, besides game 1. Like, maybe the Senna game, I think Vulcan played a lot better. I thought he still didn't have a great Senna game when he's normally a very good Senna. He got solo killed by Sivir as Ziggs. Like, I don't know how that happens, but he just straight up got solo killed. He was getting caught. He died 2v2 more than once. He was like getting his summoners burnt and having like really bad lane states overall. Which is very strange. And then Thanatos, who was supposed to gap Fudge, didn't have like he got solo killed. I think the only game where I felt like he was able to push his presence in the game was the Mbessa game. The Rumble game, I felt like the game was like we didn't really do anything, so he didn't need to do anything. And then the Mbessa game, like he got one small lead and he was able to push that lead and completely screw over Fudge. But then he lost the Aatrox into Gnar matchup. You should never lose that, especially as Thanatos. and then he played Kasante into Cho'Gath. Like, I don't know why he played Kasante, but like he literally couldn't do a thing, which is strange when you have. I thought he was the best player in the entire league. I thought Thanatos just had the biggest gap between him and second place, even more than Inspired and second place. Like I thought was Blabber or maybe even Contracts. Very very strange showing from Cloud9, and I'm glad that we're a team that's like, if you don't give us 100%, we're just gonna fight. You know, it wasn't clean, it wasn't pretty, but we took the series, and it's worrisome for Cloud9, but it's also really cool to see from Shopify that we're not a team that buckles, which is really strange to think. You would think Shopify are the team to buckle, not Cloud9. But yeah, Cloud9 have buckled every time they had an opportunity to buckle, and you know, Shopify, every time we had to show up, we've shown up. So I don't know what you think about the players specifically, about the Blabber criticism, about Cloud9 being soft, but that's sort of my diagnosis after watching the games.
The first thing I'll speak about the buckling point. I'm not gonna put that too much on them in the sense that the only team they've had the chance to like really like step up is FlyQuest, and let's be real, up until at this point, no team has still laid a glove on them outside of us. Like, we're the only team that's come close to beating them, and like in reality, we probably should have won those two series. And I think it's so frustrating because it's something we didn't see coming. Even like historically, where you could say like Blabber, Sven, Vulcan have been like chokers, right? Even on C9, this whole year has never felt like that. Even in the finals, it was still a case of, damn, these guys pushed them really like to their brink. And even you said like yourself last week, we are a great team, and I don't think this loss eradicates that. I think, yes, there could be some cause for concern that why did you buckle after game 2? Because I'll be completely honest, I think if we win that game 2, we win that series 3-0, because we were just oozing confidence throughout that entire game 1 and game 2, and then we completely chucked it. And life's a humbler, and we got humbled. Like, there's no. I know Dom said we prepared for them. It did show. I think we played game 1 and 75% of game 2 pretty spectacularly, and then we you always sometimes get these games where it just starts going silly. Like, you even had it against FlyQuest last split, right? It's like the game will be going smooth, and then suddenly the game just starts getting crazy. And when the game gets crazy,
we took them to 3 when we played them.
Yeah, like when games get crazy, anything can happen, and it's just caused unnecessary stress, because now we have to win out to make it to the cross conference playoffs. I still think we're gonna come second. I know we lost, and like there was no excuses for, like, I even said, even if we won, we should not be happy with how we performed. That, like, it was an embarrassing way. Like, it was an embarrassing showing. I'm not even gonna say it's the first seed, because it's not like we actually fucking asked for it to begin with that shit format. Like, I don't think that can be used against us, like, as harshly as other teams that have earned the first seed, right? I mean, like, you can argue, why did we pick Shopify? To be honest, based on our skill level, that should it really matter? Like, we were, and you can, all the C9 content leading up to this, they were so confident that they were going to roll you, because they don't believe that you're a good team. And maybe they still don't, but at least I know, or I hope, going into future series, because we're going to get a rematch probably. I think you'll lose like a 3-1 to FlyQuest. I'll give you that prediction now. I don't know if we were doing that later on, because it's 2 weeks away, but I think we'll meet again, and I'm hoping next time we're a little bit more prepared, because the drafts were... I even tweeted it.
I was about to ask you, you made a tweet basically saying, if my coach drafted the way that he drafted, I wouldn't have him as my coach.
I think Reaper is one of the most unclutch coaches of all time. I'm going to put that statement out there. as much as like joy he's given me as a fan, when it comes to changing the course of C9 history, majority of the time we fumble. Like, I can think of when we lost to WE when we were 2-1 up, and we had like a 5k gold lead in game 1, and we could have actually won 3-0 when we were... we had the momentum against TSM, and you remember in finals 2016 when Doublelift did that insane Lucian play? We had the momentum, game 4, should have gone to a game 5, maybe could have won that. The 2017 TSM, when we were 2-1 up again, and then lost 3-2, and the Jensen thing happened. In game 5, the Team Liquid, where we were 2-1 up in grand finals against the Impact Jensen era of TL, when we were stomping them, and then we threw it. Another one when we were 2 up against TSM in 2019, and then we got reverse swept off of a single play. It happened exactly how this series when Sneaky walked up mid lane when we were like 6-7k gold up, and then he got caught, and then Bjergsen rallied behind and made that insane play bot, and then the series flipped on its head. That's how this series felt. We were in cruise control. Like, I felt like we were on autopilot. It looked like, based on your players' faces, you're just like laughing it off. Like, okay, we're getting our shit kicked in, so whatever. And we look like, man, these guys are bums. Like, what are we doing? And then, yeah, life's a humbler.
I will say, at the topic of draft, I think we actually, like, I'm not going to say you guys had really bad draft, but I am going to say we had really good draft. I think we had much better prep, even though you guys prepped. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you didn't prep, but I think we just had answers that you guys didn't expect. The fact that you guys picked Cassante, game 3, made no sense. I think even Dom was like, can Thanatos even do anything on Cassante? Like, I'm not entirely sure who asked for that, but the Cassante made no sense. We had really good answers with the Vi, Cho'Gath, and Cassiopeia into Yone. We pretty much baited the Yone pick, and then game 5, banning out every single jungler that you guys could play. And then you're like, okay, I guess we only have Rek'Sai left, unless we want to pull out like an Amumu, which I don't know exactly fits the comp. But I thought our draft adaptation was really good. The fact that we picked Red Side in the series, except for game 5, obviously, is something that caught you guys off guard. I think Vulcan was even saying like we didn't expect that. I think even Palafox was like, "Wait, we're we're gonna be on Red Side," but he trusted the coaching staff and it
worked. Because you had like the entire series blue side, which is crazy to me. No, you guys played 4 games blue.
We
were 4 games blue, which is wild to me.
Yeah, I think game 5, like the fact that you guys gave us Zinza, like at the end of the day, you were gonna have to trade whether it's AD carry or jungler, and you picked to trade the junglers, and we banned the Olaf.
Inera said we opted for, because we thought you guys had picked Nico. It was like a Nico Xin.
Oh, the Nico, sorry,
yeah, and we opted for, which I don't think that was a worthy trade, considering, well, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but considering the option.
I think the idea is that if you have Nico, you win. Like that trade in the bot lane, and then the game might be very different if Blabber doesn't int that dive. Like if Vulcan plays it better, I think a lot of people are pointing to Blabber, but that's just Vulcan. Vulcan should take aggro and then turn into a cannon minion, and then like just tank 6 tower shots. He didn't do that, so Blabber died. But then everyone's just like, Blabber, what did you do? And maybe I looked at it incorrectly, but like maybe he went in too early. I mean, maybe some of it is to blame on Blabber. But I just think Vulcan
like
kind of
aggroed.
I mean, red buff only aggroes if you use an ability, so
yeah,
he had to have autoed. So then the question is, why didn't Vulcan take aggro before Blabber goes in?
It was a mess.
And then turned them in. I think what happened actually was maybe I watched it a couple times that I don't remember now. I think Vulcan tried to take aggro, but he got flashed on by Leona and stunned. And so he never actually got aggro. And Blabber just assumed that Vulcan saying, "Hey, I'm taking aggro," and then he never took aggro. And maybe that's what happened. But either way, I think a lot of criticism has went to Blabber because he had to make a lot of those plays. I think the Jarvan play, like trying to dash on like EQing on a Lucian.
Oh, don't.
I agree. You guys could have just like backed off. You guys had won that situation.
But we
You
had
guys
the
kind of
Drake.
trolled
The
there.
Drake was ours.
Yeah. Dragon was free. We actually had TP, so maybe it's not completely free, but either way, like I think Baron was over. Like there was no way we were gonna get Baron, and you guys kind of just ran it down. But besides that, like I felt like a lot of times he was doing what the team needed to happen, which is something that Palafox talked about. He said, "Look, I was telling B-Boy, like my team was playing scared, and I was telling him, look, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna flash in, even if I die. It doesn't matter. Just play with B-Boy. If they spend their abilities on me, we win 100% of the time." There's a play, game 2, when we had Rel and you guys had Victor, and Rel tried to Q flash the Victor, and Victor flashes it. I don't know if you remember, but it was bot side jungle, near Dragon. And apparently Palafox was just telling his team, like, why are we afraid? Just go, just fight. And so that's how that fight started. Because like I don't know why we're scared. Like we're stronger at this point in the game. So I think Blabber was doing that for you guys, where it did seem like you guys didn't have the confidence to take fights, which is something Cloud9 are supposed to have.
And like, you won the series, but like a lot of your actual setups to these fights were like terrible and punishable, and we completely just shit the bed. We completely, after game 2, like that gave me 2020 vibes. Of like, this team has no idea. This team reverting to comfort picks. This team's drafting has just gone out the window. And I've seen that from Reaper a million times. And that's why, after this split, after this season, I do want a change. And I'm saying that, and we may even go on and win. You can't keep being this unclutch when you don't need to, like, yes, we can just go and what I predict is going to happen, I think we're just going to fucking steamroll this lower bracket. And yes, we may do that and qualify for thing and may qualify for Worlds. But we don't always have to do things the hard way. And it feels like with Reaper, we always have to go, like, it's never like a straight line. And his drafting has been universally terrible since the dawn of time. And one thing that we've lost as a Reaper team is our proactivity to be creative. Like, just random picks that, like, we saw you guys do it. Like, we saw the LeBlanc, Cassio, that completely, like, we just turbo, like, aggroed your comp by picking friggin' Poppy and, what else was it? Yone. Into that shit, and just thinking, oh, we're just gonna disrespect.
Well, Yone was first pick, but everything else, yeah, you picked into it. You picked the Cassante and the Poppy, and it's like, who's gonna get on Cassio again? Like, especially with the Cho'Gath like defending her and a Vi.
It makes me really annoyed because this has happened so many times throughout so many different iterations of Reaper C9s, where we would just capitulate into what we used to be, and just playing for ourselves, playing completely like not cohesive champions that worked. And we've seen it throughout this entire year, the amount of progress we've made as a team. And it just felt like when things went wrong, instead of sticking to what we like knew, instead of someone taking a breath, and this leads me on to my next point, this team doesn't have a leader. No matter what people say, there is no veteran that is going to make the team take a breath. Because our veterans, Blabber and Sven, I know Vulcan is too, but he's not the primary shot caller. Blabber is. And when Blabber and Sven, who's the most decorated player on our team, is tilting out of his mind, and I could tell that was a Sven tilter series. You saw the way he was playing. It's just
that was the worst series I've seen him play in like years. He played better on Dignitas. Like, what happened?
I haven't. That's what I felt when we played EWC, when he was just playing tilted. And I was like, okay, the series is in trouble if we're playing like that, and we need to get more 6. I don't care if TL are amazing at overloading side lanes, and we, to some degree, showcased that. Like, we were, what was it, 2-3 kick down, and then we was able to just claw it back through side lane. Still lost at that game, I think. Game 3.
You did, but yeah, I mean, you also got solo killed in the mid lane as Ziggs versus Sivir. We didn't get to see it, but we just see like Just
Yeah.
dry B-Boy killing. That I don't think I've ever seen that ever happen.
And the thing is, like, it makes me upset because I want to praise you guys, but I feel a lot of what happened, we was really shit in the bed. I will praise Fudge. He absolutely capitalized on what I thought Thanatos was a really nervous series. He played nervous that entire time. Like, the Noah pick, that should be his bread and butter. Like, when we
That's a
locked that in,
matchup that's been played for years, man. He should have like 10,000 games on that matchup.
and the thing is, we know how good his Noah is. Like, this league, there's
We
no one
saw
in
him
this
last year.
league close.
Or last year, yeah.
And yeah, I think it's just annoying losing to Fudge and Palafox. That really grinded my gears. But
I will say I am worried for you guys because there's another team in a different region that had a very similar trajectory to you guys, who was a really, really, really good team and took the top team of their league to 5 games, lost that, and then the next time they played, they kind of choked, and then they kind of went downhill from there. Hanwha Life, if you don't remember, was the best team in the world in like early February, right? When first stand happened. They're the best team in the world. Then going into MSI, they were supposed to be the second seed. T1 had no business winning that series, but they got 3-0'd because Hanwha Life kind of mental boomed after getting reverse swept, after getting defeated by Genji in the upper bracket. And then T1 kept improving, and Hanwha Life didn't. And now it's like very, very clear that Hanwha Life is like the third team. They're not even close to being second.
yeah,
And I know that happened over a while, but like, why is that something? First of all, Shopify is a team that has been consistently been improving. That is the one thing we have done that I think very little teams have shown. The reason we broke into the top 4 and now the top 2 is because we consistently improved, whereas other teams don't. We found our mistakes, we work on them, and we like really hone in on the things that we do well. Which is something Dom talked about as well. Like they really wanted to focus on the things that we do well and prevent that because they knew that's the only way we could win. I'm worried for this Cloud9. This Cloud9 team, like you choked at EWC against a team you guys are 10 times better. You choked now against a team who you should like be twice as good, right? Do you just keep doing this? Like, what's going to happen when you end up facing us in the lower bracket, right? Like, let's say we lose, and then you end up having to face us. What's going to happen? Are you going to choke again? Are you not going to play 100%? Is it going to go to another 5 games? Can you guys win a game 5? You haven't won a game 5 yet. Can you?
no.
Like, do you guys have the mental fortitude to do that?
Well, we're gonna have our own, and the thing is, we have to. Like, we don't. Like, the one thing we have to ensure is that we get our second life back, because there is another playoffs after this. Like, we do have to remember that. Like, there is another playoffs. Like, we can lose to you in the third place match, and then I don't know, somehow beat FlyQuest. I'm not saying we will, but you never know. I'm confident with 2 weeks off. We are always historically a terrible meta team in terms of how we are when the meta first changes. We always have a terrible read on it, and like props to the people that predicted that, right? Because it looked exactly that. Not only did we like mentally capitulate, we then just started drafting the worst shit I've seen. I think with 2 weeks off, you're gonna have a warm up series against well, I haven't thought about who I think's gonna win out of DSG and Dig yet. But either way, you're gonna have a warm up series against one of those two. It's not gonna be close. And then the real like pressure is playing TL, because I think they'll win their match against 100 Thieves or Lion. And
I think you guys will win that series, and then I think you guys should be very nervous playing against the loser between us and FlyQuest.
I don't think so, because we'll be warmed up by then. Because we're I don't think I have to say this because it's my team, but I genuinely don't believe that we are now like much lower. I think it was a freak series, even though our mental can, like, you've seen it historically, yes, but I have also seen
literally last year, yeah, with 3 of the same 5 players and the same coach. Like,
well,
yes,
we didn't have
you've
Zen
seen it.
last year. We didn't have Zen last year.
You had Thanatos, you had Blabber, you had Vulcan.
Okay, yeah, fair point. But I will say Vulcan was not part of this core in that series. He played out. I thought he was like one of the best players on the Rift, even when we was losing.
I agree. He played really well.
Right. So we've seen our highs, and I know our highs, and I believe that what we've shown this entire year is not reversed in one series. Now, again, if we go and struggle against DSG or Dig, then I'm going to be like, okay, something's clearly wrong with this team, and then I'm not confident we beat TL.
Let me remind you to 2022 spring when you had the whole shenanigans of Fudge, moving mid, and you guys brought in Summit top lane, and Summit was the MVP. He was by far the best top laner. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, this Cloud9 team is incredible!" And then you go into playoffs and get 3-0'd in the first series because Summit can't play tanks. And then you go into the lower bracket and you cruise the lower bracket. Summit is playing Ornn, he's playing Sion, he's playing like all these tanks, and then the same problems show up as soon as you face a strong team. And I think it was Team Liquid at that time, and you guys lose again. 3-0. And like last year, you guys also lost to FlyQuest in the upper bracket. You lost to what's it called? To Team Liquid. Not Team Liquid, to 100 Thieves as well. Like, it just feels like this team I don't want to blame it on Blabber. I don't know who to blame it on, honestly. But there's a systemic issue where like when you guys are winning, you're winning, but when you guys struggle, you collapse. Like this team, I'm sorry to say it, but like I'm starting to look back at EWC and think maybe it wasn't all of the circumstances that you guys were blaming it on. It's like, oh, lack of sleep. Even your loss against Team Liquid in Split 1, you guys were like, well, Team Liquid had the better facility. We didn't have air conditionings. We were struggling. We couldn't sleep. We couldn't practice, blah, blah, blah. And like you guys were in a lead in those games and you still threw. And now it's like, do you guys just not handle pressure well? Like,
I mean, you know what these players are like, though. Like, I'm not here to start blaming Korean rookies for not having the mental fortitude when our veterans are the ones collapsing. I am not putting this on either of those two rookies. Like, I just am not. Historically, yes, these veterans can capitulate, and we've seen that many times. I've also seen this coach many, many times struggle to get his players back on side. And guess what? These are the exact same players that were there before. So, yes, we've seen our highs, we've also seen lows, but I'm more confident that, like, I didn't come out of that series thinking, man, Shopify gapped us. I thought we completely shit the bed. And, like, that's why I'm not coming into this thinking we're still not the second best team. I would still predict us, if we played tomorrow, knowing what we'd seen, I would still predict us. Maybe like I said, now they have to see how they handle pressure. Because now the pressure's on. If you lose to Dig or to TL, your season's done. Because
I think there's a little bit of pressure against TL, sure. But I think the big pressure is going to be the match after Team Liquid. I think that's where the pressure is really going to be on. If that's against us, like a rematch, even if it's against FlyQuest, like if we do win, which I think no one's going to predict, but like regardless of who they play, I think that's when the real pressure is on. Because even though you made it, like now you're fighting to see if you make it to Texas.
Yes, because beating you means we probably go to Worlds. I think that's the Worlds decider, by the way.
It is. Let's be honest, it is, yeah.
Right. Like, I do think that series will be like, I do think we'll get through the low bracket. Like, I'm already making that prediction that we're going to steamroll it. 2 weeks, learn the patch. Dom's going to be there now, and I think that could make a big difference. Someone that will actually be able to communicate with these players. Because I'm not sure about our coaching staff. Like, genuinely. Not being able to win either of the high pressure series against FlyQuest, I'm honestly discounting EWC. People can if they want, that's absolutely fine. The Shopify one's embarrassing. because I feel like this season actually defines so much for us as an organization. Like, considering how things are going elsewhere, like, we're not spending high on any of our teams, and it feels like the crutch that is left is League of Legends. And if we miss Worlds, we're not. Like, I'm not saying we're in a TSM arc or anything. Like, absolutely not.
No, you're much better off. Yeah.
Like, but you start questioning when's the next title gonna come. When's the next World Experience gonna come? And I'm not ready to think about that yet because I still think we're gonna win the lower bracket, personally.
I mean, I don't want to give like repeating the same issue, but again, last year I saw the same problems happen in summer where you guys finished second and like you guys kind of collapse after one loss. And this year you guys
I think the
collapsed
conditions are different
during
though,
the game.
because I think the conditions for like the other times we have collapse is when the vibes of the team are completely off. Some players are checked out. The team's arguing. The coach has no idea what he's doing. And like scrims are going poorly equal, but like leading up to this Shopify series, the vibes are good, practice is good, playing like better teams. So like I think we got some Flyco. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like we got Flyco scrims. Seemed to go fine. And then the series happened. I think it was an in-series problem, and I'll be
I'd
interested to
hope so
see.
because I do want it to be like competitive. I don't want you guys to collapse and lose 3-0.
If we go out with a
but
whimper, it'd be
I'm worried.
very tragic. That's
I'm
fine.
worried for y'all.
I'll
be honest.
Not yet.
I have been saying this squad, this Shopify squad's goal is to make it to Worlds next year because Worlds is going to be in an A. The fact that we're in this position, I know that's not their goal. That's my goal for them. It's like, hey, give this team 2 years. Let's like really focus on making Worlds when it's in North America. And this, they have an opportunity to like win one series and you're at Worlds, right? That's pretty much the TLDR. But yeah, they're overperforming for sure, and it's scary. It's scary for Cloud9. I think
it's unnecessary more than scary. Like, at least from my eyes, like it's an unnecessary pressure because you could be like, if we would have 3-0'd that series, which it looked like we were doing, it would have then set up like a really cool best of 5 with FlyQuest. Like, man, FlyQuest looked fucking sick. And then C9 3-0's them, and then you have that pressure off in some ways because you've secured top 2. You're going to well, more or less secured top 2. You go into the cross conference, and then you have FlyQuest on your opposite side of your bracket, so you're like more than likely going to Worlds.
we can transition.